I never thought I'd be the kind of guy posting here, but my life has taken a turn I could have never seen coming. I guess I'm here because I need to tell someone. Maybe writing this down will help me make sense of it all. So, a little about me. I'm 34, been married to my wife, Lily, for 6 years. We don't have kids yet, but we've been talking about it. She's 31, beautiful, smart, and charming in ways that made me feel like I hit the jackpot. I run a small but steady tech business from home, which has given us financial stability. Lily works in marketing, and her schedule's pretty demanding. Between the two of us, life was busy, but we made it work, or at least I thought we did. About a year ago, Lily started going to the gym. First, I was thrilled. She wanted to get healthier, feel more confident. She'd been talking about how stressful her job was, so I figured it was her way of blowing off steam. She signed up with a personal trainer named Ethan. Some buff guy with perfect teeth, probably ripped straight out of a fitness magazine. I didn't think much of it. Honestly, I encouraged her. I was proud of her commitment and how good it made her feel. She'd come home glowing after workouts, talking about the new exercises Ethan taught her. There was this excitement in her voice that I hadn't heard in a while. At the time, I chalked it up to endorphins, maybe even a reignited sense of self-worth. But as the months passed, little things started to change. At first, the changes were subtle. Lily started spending more time at the gym. What used to be an hour turned into 2, sometimes 3. She said Ethan was helping her really push her limits, and that she needed extra time to cool down and stretch. I bought it. Why wouldn't I? She'd never given me a reason to doubt her before. But then other things started piling up. She began guarding her phone like it held state secrets, never leaving it on the counter or even face up. When I'd ask about her day, she'd give me these vague answers about work being the usual and workouts being tough but rewarding. There was a distance growing between us, but I told myself it was the stress from her job and the new fitness routine. One night, I decided to surprise her by making dinner. Lily had been talking about trying to eat cleaner, so I made this elaborate healthy meal, grilled salmon, quinoa, the works. I wanted to show her I was paying attention, that I supported her efforts. But when she walked through the door, she barely even looked at it. "Oh, I already ate," she said casually, dropping her gym bag by the door. Ethan recommended this great smoothie place near the gym. Smoothies? She just traded my hour-long cooking session for some overpriced blend of kale and almond milk? That stung. Still, I brushed it off. She was passionate about her fitness goals, right? I didn't want to come across as insecure or controlling. But then came the first real crack in the facade. A few weeks later, I was folding laundry while Lily was in the shower. Her gym bag was on the floor, unzipped, and her phone buzzed. I don't know what came over me, but I glanced at the screen. The message was from someone named E. It said, "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about it. Same time tomorrow." My stomach dropped. I told myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe E was Ethan and they were talking about some intense workout session. Maybe I was overthinking. But the tone of the message gnawed at me, and my mind spiraled. Last night, what had she been doing? She told me she was staying late at work to finish a campaign. I put her phone back exactly how I found it, heart racing, pretending nothing had happened. For the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was horribly wrong. I started paying closer attention, her excuses, her schedule, even her demeanor. The more I observed, the more I couldn't deny that something wasn't adding up. The breaking point came the following weekend. Lily said she was heading to a late-night yoga session at the gym. She grabbed her mat and kissed me goodbye like everything was normal. But the moment she walked out the door, I decided to follow her. I didn't know what I expected to find, but I had to know the truth. I gave her a few minutes head start and then got in my car. My hands were shaking as I tailed her down the dimly lit streets. She didn't head toward the gym. Instead, she turned onto a quiet road on the other side of town, eventually pulling into the driveway of a small, unfamiliar house. My heart pounded as I watched her get out of the car, gym bag slung over her shoulder, and walk up to the front door. Before she even knocked, the door opened, and there he was, Ethan, shirtless, smiling. They embraced, and it wasn't the kind of hug you'd give a workout buddy. I sat there in my car, frozen. My worst fears were playing out right in front of me, and there was no room for doubt anymore. This wasn't some overactive imagination or paranoia. This was real. Lily was cheating on me, and not just with anyone, her gym trainer. The guy she talked about with so much enthusiasm, the guy I'd practically encouraged her to spend time with. My first instinct was to barge in and confront them, but something held me back. I needed proof. I couldn't go in there guns blazing, only to have her spin the story around. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I grabbed my phone and started recording. Every second felt like an eternity as I filmed them through the window, laughing, kissing, disappearing into the house together. My hands were trembling, my breathing shallow, but I kept filming. I sat there in a haze for what felt like hours, my mind racing. I thought about our wedding day, the vows we made, all the moments we'd shared. How could she throw it all away like this? How long had this been going on? And why didn't I see it sooner? When Lily finally left the house, it was close to midnight. She walked out, adjusting her hair, a satisfied smile on her face. Ethan stood in the doorway, watching her leave, like he didn't have a care in the world. I ducked down in my car, praying she wouldn't notice me as she drove off. Once she was gone, I made a decision. I was going to confront her, but not yet. I needed more than just a video. I needed to be absolutely certain. The next day, I hired a private investigator. It felt surreal, like something out of a bad movie, but I needed to know the full story. If she could lie so easily to my face about her whereabouts, what else had she been hiding? Within days, the investigator had everything. Photos of Lily and Ethan meeting at that house on multiple occasions. Receipts for expensive dinners they'd shared. Even a record of a hotel booking under a fake name. The weight of it all hit me like a freight train. This wasn't just a fling. It was a full-blown affair. But the most gut-wrenching discovery came when the investigator dug a little deeper into Ethan's background. He wasn't just a personal trainer. He was a known scam artist, someone who preyed on wealthy, married women. He'd done this before, charming his way into their lives, taking what he could, and disappearing without a trace. And Lily? She'd been giving him money, thousands of dollars, from our joint savings. Armed with everything, the videos, the photos, the receipts, I prepared for the confrontation. But this wasn't just about Lily's betrayal anymore. The fact that she had drained our savings and fallen victim to a con artist added an entirely new level of devastation. I wasn't just losing my wife. I was losing the life we'd built together. That evening, I waited for her to come home. I had the evidence spread out on the kitchen table. Screenshots of the texts, the private investigator's photos, and the damning receipts. When Lily walked through the door, she looked exhausted, like she just had another long workout. She barely noticed the tension in the air as she dropped her bag by the door. "Hey, what's for dinner?" she asked, heading toward the fridge. "Lily," I said, my voice trembling. "We need to talk." She froze, sensing something was off. Her eyes darted to the table, and the color drained from her face when she saw what was waiting for her. What is this?" she stammered, her voice cracking. "It's everything," I said, my anger barely contained. "Everything you've been hiding from me. Your affair. The money. Ethan." Her eyes widened, and for a moment, she looked like a cornered animal. Then, as if on cue, the tears started. "It's not what you think," she said, her voice breaking. "I can explain." "Explain what?" I snapped. "That you've been lying to me for months? That you've been sneaking around behind my back, draining our savings to fund your affair with a scammer." Her head shot up at the word scammer. "What are you talking about?" she asked, her tears momentarily forgotten. I threw a folder onto the table. "Ethan isn't just your trainer. He's a con artist, Lily. He's done this before, seducing married women, stealing their money, and vanishing. He's using you." Her mouth opened, then closed, as if she didn't know how to respond. "No," she whispered. "That's not true. He loves me." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. She didn't deny the affair. She didn't even apologize. Instead, she defended him. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Do you hear yourself? I shouted. He doesn't love you, Lily. He's playing you. And you've let him ruin everything. But she wasn't listening. She grabbed her phone and started dialing. I'll prove it, she muttered, tears streaming down her face. He's not who you think he is. I watched in stunned silence as she called him, putting the phone on speaker. The line rang twice before Ethan picked up. Hey babe, his voice said smoothly. What's up? Lily's voice was trembling. Ethan, he's saying you're a scammer. That you're using me. Tell him he's wrong. There was a long pause on the other end. Too long. Then, Ethan laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a cruel, mocking laugh. Oh, Lily, he said, his voice dripping with contempt. You really thought I cared about you? That's adorable. Her face crumpled. What? No, Ethan, don't. But he cut her off. Look, sweetheart, it's been fun. But you were always just a means to an end. Thanks for the cash. Oh, and tell your husband I said thanks for letting you be so gullible. The line went dead. Lily collapsed into a chair, sobbing uncontrollably. I wanted to feel some satisfaction, some vindication, but all I felt was emptiness. The woman I'd loved, the life we'd built, it was all gone. The next day, I packed my things and left. I filed for divorce within the week. Lily begged me to stay, swearing she'd been manipulated, that she was blinded by Ethan's lies. But I couldn't do it. Trust was the foundation of our marriage, and she had destroyed it. As for Ethan, the investigator handed over the evidence to the police. I heard he skipped town shortly after, leaving behind a trail of debts and broken hearts. Lily was just one of many victims. It's been 6 months now, and I'm still picking up the pieces. Some days I feel like I'll never fully recover from what happened. But one thing's for sure, I'll never ignore the signs again.